Hello everybody and welcome back to Let's Play Bloodborne. I know it's been a while, I've been busy. Now, today's gonna be the same, but also a little bit different. What I'm going to do is, I'm gonna go ahead and explain a majority of the lore of the game. And also, I'm really close to kind of getting through it, so what we're gonna do is, if we come up over here, see, I'm fairly far through it. We're at the sort of last portion of the DLC, last portion of the core game, so I'm gonna go ahead and continue through the core of the game. The best thing for this, believe it or not, is kind of what I'm wearing here. Having high frenzy resistance and having lead elixirs. Fairly important. So, we'll go ahead and store that, and why not? So I'm remembering what button does what. Do I have some? There we go. So, before I say anything on the lore, I just want to throw out there that a lot of it is, as is the From Software way, a lot of it is pieced together from obscure vocal lines and doing the proper paths, going the right ways, getting the right options open, and primarily from item descriptions. So, we're just gonna kind of go over them in a particular order and learn it from there. So, starting out with when you start, it's kind of like how Demon Souls started. In Demon Souls, you're a foreigner who was essentially a proper badass that came there to help. Hands down, you came in with the want to help for your own purposes or for a greater good. So that's kind of the lore here. You come to Yharnam because they need help. They need hunters. So, oh, pardon me, I had to belch a little bit. So in comes you. You're a hunter. Ooh, you want to help, and so there you are. You're in the Yharnam clinic, you make it there, you wake up, and there's the blood minister there. And essentially tells you can't enter this dream, you can't see the world for what it is. You can't really do much unless you have some Yharnam blood running through your veins. So, that introduces you to the nightmare, you know? You get the blood, it's apparently just so powerful, so jarring, that it passes you out. And when you wake up, you kind of can't move, and that's when the werewolf pops up. Now, he's there to essentially eat you, harvest you, attack you, whatever, but we hear the voice of, I believe, the doll, maybe Yosefka, but I do believe it's the doll, and we hear her talking about you, and it's believed that she's the one that lobs the fireball that hurts the werewolf and gets him to go away from you. That's why that first werewolf you fight doesn't have his full health bar. He's the one that gets set on fire, for those that might have been wondering. So, he's there, and the little messengers, they kind of clamor all over you, but the messengers, wherever they came from, they're there to help the hunter. So, they help you. They make sure you're alright. Wake up, and you're in the clinic, and a lot of people die, but, you know, lore-based, you can die or live either way. You get through it. Sorry, these guys are mean. Oof. Yep, underestimated his range there. That's okay. We'll come right back up and defeat him. So, anyways, you get through Yharnam, and then you meet Gilbert. You meet the guy at the window. He was apparently an old hunter. Gives you the flame sprayer because it's what was most effective against the beast back in the day, the flames. and he's got no use for it. He can't use it. So we saw what happened to him. Gilbert wants to die human, but unfortunately he does not. He turns into a beast. So at that point, what you can do for the guy is release him from being a beast. Kill him, take him down. So you take him out, no longer human. You kind of do him that service at least. And woo! Woo! A minute. Let me get out of this precarious situation. You do what you can for Gilbert. Turns into a beast. Yada yada. Blah blah blah. Come back to Yosefka's clinic. That's the really important one. You come back to Yosefka's, and when you first talk to her, she's kind and she's timid and she wants to help people. And after you defeat Gascon, she doesn't sound the same. Like, something about her just seems off. Well, that of course was explained through it. You know, I was taking you through there, and all those blue celestials, those kin of the cosmos, they were the people you sent there. It's believed that there's one of two theories. You know, and a lot of them come from Reddit, you know. One of them is that she herself is a celestial and took on Yosefka's form, because you never see two of them in one place. So there's believed to be that as a theory, and a theory that she's just an imposter from the Blood Church. I fully believe the theory that she was a kin that kind of like maybe took over Yosefka, and whatever Yosefka was is turned into that blue kin at the doorway that drops the blood vial. You know, that's the real Yosefka either way. Then the other one's this imposter, and she's trying to elevate herself, so once you send all the people to her, she does experiments on herself, and that's when she's all prego there on the table, and she's talking about having eyes on the inside of her head, wriggling and writhing, and she's there, and she gets her comeuppance because you whop her, you take her down. Her blood's red, not white, like the kin of the cosmos, so whatever she was wanting to do, it didn't elevate her, it didn't work. So that's kind of the lore behind Yosefka. She was somebody, and then an imposter from wherever took over from there and tricks you. So all's not as it seems in those respects. Gilbert, of course, smaller guy, just kind of like Yosefka, helps you, ends up being an enemy at the end. Things end tragically, like they like to do for Bloodborne. So you continue on and realize that the doll, she's there to help the hunters. Gurman, the old man in the wheelchair, you'll see him sometimes, and there's a lot of interesting lore on him. Now, I have some theories on him, and we'll get to that. But let's go over some of the other people you meet. One of the lores is believed to be that Vicar Amelia, the one in the cathedral ward, she was in love with the first Vicar, Vicar Lawrence. And that's why she's clutching that pendant and reciting her vows. You can hear them, as you know, you saw in my video, you can hear them being recited by her right up until she senses your presence, in which case she turns into a beast. Whether it's because of the hunter being there, or because she hates hunters, or because she's just at that point and your presence just pisses her off, it's unknown, really. It's not certain on why she really transforms at that time, but she does, and you take her out. So in a way, you kind of set her free from that, like many of the enemies. So you're making your way through, and then there's of course the tragic story of Gascon before you get there, who came here as a young hunter, hunted for a long time, partnered with Henrik. And of course, the theory there is that it's him, called Father Gascon, because maybe he was a cleric in a different area, but he is a father because of the daughter, whose mother is Viola. So Viola was essentially Gascon's wife. They had the daughter, the one that has the ribbon and gives you the music box, to try and remind Gascon of his humanity. Viola forgets it there for whatever reason or purpose, and of course Gascon kills her in his mania and his madness. Then Henrik turns shortly thereafter. So these guys apparently were hunting a very, very long time, and they were just a good duo. They were a good group and kept their humanity alive. And some people say because she talks about the daughter, granddad, that maybe Henrik was Viola's father. Like, that was Gascon's father-in-law he teamed up with. It would make sense. The familial setting just seems like a thing Bloodborne would like to do. So, the family thing, there's more of a theory on that with some other characters that I'll cover a little bit later. But, yeah, giant-ass spiders. Honestly, I think that, I think that I'm gonna get out of here real quick. I think that, once you get past him, you know, you get to a point where it's kind of, you might be confused by, the guy in Odin Chapel. I believe what many people believe, and that's Carol or Carl, the one who makes the runes. There's a whole convoluted story there with him. So this one is one that, you know, it's one of those you have to kind of see if you believe it yourself. Do research. Like I said, I've researched a lot. I have. I've looked into it a lot. I was so enthralled by the story, I went to many different sources to try and piece these things together and figure it out. I'm a fan of H.P. Lovecraft. I'm a fan of From Software. I'm a fan of Hidetaka Miyazaki. I'm a fan of all of this, so I tried to do my research as thoroughly as possible. So, get up here, we're gonna fight an NPC. So, we believe that that guy is Carl. And what happened was, he's from Hemwick Charnel Lane, but as you see, many of the ladies there, who have the same kind of countenance as him, you know, they're all darker skin and stuff. They look like him. And they're kind of like gaunt and decrepit, kind of like he is, the guy in Odin Chapel. So what it might have been is that he's an outcast because he's a boy. They're a society of females, of witches. And they have him, they cast him out, and this guy is looking for some way, somewhere, to fit in. He wants desperately to fit in and to just help people. To not feel like he's worthless or useless, not feel like he's a bad person. He wants to do something. It's suspected that the kin of the cosmos came from meteorites. 2 or 3 of the weapons in the game are made of siderite, and it says that in the description, which is meteorite metal. So, you know, they're supposed to be really strong, really resilient. Kind of makes sense for the whole kin of the cosmos theme to the game. Well, the thing is, the story kind of follows a lot of the different factions. What is surmised is that Carl found the blood. He found one of the meteorites, he found one of the kin of the cosmos, and he didn't quite know what to do about it. So he thought of people to show it to. So what does he do? Well, he goes to Castle Canehurst, the Royals, shows them the blood and its properties, how it can heal any disease, any sickness, how it reinvigorates and rejuvenates the person, the soul, the psyche. So Castle Canehurst gets the blood first, and they get it unrefined, unfiltered. It's in its rawest possible power and state. They develop weapons for it, they start working on it, then they become kind of corrupted by it. Well, Carl's like, this was a bad idea. So then he goes somewhere else to try and figure out what to do. Goes to the workshop. Once again, this is surmised, and you can look into this theory yourself if you want. I'm just throwing out what, is the grand, kind of hypothesis on the thing, the thoughts. So, old Carl, he figures out that, I should give it to the workshop. I should give it to them, see what they do. And they're like, well, this might invigorate and rejuvenate. Look what it's doing to the castle. Let's take it to the church. Church gets a hold of it. Church realizes Castle Canehurst is gonna be bad with it, so they make the martyrs, their executioners. Ludwig, he gets it, founds the church hunters. The church gets a hold of the blood and want to study it, and they want to fix it and create it. And they're thankful to Carl, because, this is a miracle thing. So they give him Odin Chapel. That chapel is his. That's where he can stay. So they give him that, and then they work with the workshop, and then you get all the subgroups and stuff. You get the powder kegs, you get Archibald the eccentric, you get all these different characters and factions going, all because he brings in the blood. So that's kind of the assumption on who he is. And that's why when you see him, he's kind of laughing and giggling nervously, because Carl's a good guy. He looks decrepit, and he looks like he doesn't mean well, but that's the way of Bloodborne. Everything is the opposite as how it seems. They further this through the NPC that I always send, because he's just a guy to give you hints. You can get him for lore, I guess. It's an old man, the one that when you tell him to go to Yosefka's clinic, he goes to the church. And when you tell him to go to the church, he goes to the clinic of Yosefka. He does the opposite of what you tell him, and everything he says, the opposite is the actual truth. So he might tell you that, the woman, the church woman, he tells you she's got her wits about her and she's all there, and that's not true. Or he might say, don't trust the woman of the night, and she is one of the few you actually can trust. She'll never hurt you or turn her back on you. She's actually like a nice woman. So those NPCs have their little stories. That's his and that's Carl's. And if you kill Carl, which we're getting close to kind of that point of mine, you even get a rune from him. So it's said that he made them. Using the blood, that's what he figured out he could do to help people. That's how he helped the workshop and the hunters and the church. He helped by making the runes, inscribing them with that blood from runes that he is thought to have seen on the meteorite. That's how the hunters kind of get their power from it, is he's seen all these different inscriptions. So that might be the source of the runes for the hunters. We go further on, we find the church woman who, if she's in the church, she'll actually stare at your character whenever you talk to the woman of the night. Like, she gets jealous and insecure, and it's like she wouldn't understand why you'd want that woman's blood instead of hers. So if you take blood from the woman of the night enough, she actually will aggro on you. She'll go crazy later on. So it's interesting to say the least on that one. The old man doesn't do much, ends up just kind of going crazy, holding his head. Carl kind of keeps his wits about him. The man that's by the dead bodies, he's like a friggin' butcher, murderer. He's a bad guy that's actually a dark beast. You hit him enough and he devolves. Probably because he's been imbibing blood like a glutton, you know. So that dude's a really sneaky, tricky guy. We have all the NPCs behind the red lamp doors, and then Patches the spider. He is behind it, gives you the Godhead stone, so you can be picked up by the Amygdala and transported to the nightmare. So, like, he was turned into a spider, probably by the church. Like these things over here, probably the church that did it. Dog-headed birds, and there's also bird-headed dogs. See, they're attacking a bird-headed dog. Now it's up. Yep. Things are kind of crazy here. It seems like these are the experiments the church likes to do. And the church, of course, themselves, as you may have put together, they aren't that great either. Best intentions in the world. That's the thing. They had the best intentions. It's just, well, the worst things in the world have happened from the best intentions. It's a line from, I think, Jurassic Park 3, I think? So, something Dr. Grant tells a guy because he's got raptor eggs. It's like, I had good intentions for it. The worst things in the world have happened from good intentions. So that couldn't be truer in this sense, honestly. So, we look at the endings to things, and we see the martyrs were just a section of the church led by Logarius, and Alfred is one of his, most fervent last followers. And oh, sorry, I had to belch. And we meet Alfred, and Alfred finally kind of goes a little crazy in the end. He finds Queen Annalise and does what he feels is his duty. Smushes her to bits. We end up reviving her, but he does that to kind of restore honor to Martyr Logarius, and to restore order to his people, to finish the job that the executioners couldn't finish. So he does that, and Logarius, it's surmised he kind of became tainted because of the blood, or maybe Annalise asked him to, and there was an alliance there. There's not really a lot to look into on that. It's just kind of speculation, like most of the stuff. So, really, in that one, that's kind of all there is. But it gets kind of complicated. You get things like this. You get the different bosses, different people, and this one here is, the host of the nightmare, and a lot of people are still on the fence on quite what that means. Like, in this dream, in this nightmare, is the host of the nightmare, is the person of it, are they the source? If so, if you take them out, what does that mean? Does that mean you're the new host? Like, there's a lot of speculation to it. In the end, what matters most is the ending to the game. The ending that you get. The endings that you can pick. And a lot of it is kind of, like I said, explained by just going through it and doing things. So, let's go ahead and focus on the boss fight for now. Lots of stories behind this guy, Mikolash. Mikolash is an all-arcane guy. Theories abounds about him. Higher playthroughs, a lot of people don't like him. And it seems that he's a necromancer. So you can't rally from the blood of these bodies. They're bloodless. To the room he runs. Oh shit. I haven't repaired my weapon in a while. Durability. Shit. Go back to my gun just in case. Oh. See those things there, those will hurt a lot. Oh. Ow. Okay, well, first playthrough, they don't, hurt that much. Ow. You can stop it now, Mikolash. You dick. Oh. Inebriators. See, can't rally back and get that life back. I probably could if I'd have went over and hit Mikolash, but just spamming those.
Majestic! Hunter is a hunter, even in a dream. But alas, not too fast.
Yeah, he's definitely a crazy fella. Go. Go ahead and grab these. We'll just go ahead and have some hammer time here. Trying to think of things that might just need a little bit of explaining. Some of the lore that I've got in mind. Some of the things I might know. A lot of it's like, a lot of it can be tragic or be crazy, but in the end, that's kind of what it's also all about. Yosefka's tragic story, you know, she's trying to help out the hunter, and then the imposter gets in there. Gilbert, of course, and his sad story, you know, because a lot of people may not go back after the whole blood moon thing. Ooh. Let's say, can't afford to not get that hit off. Hopefully he'll drop me some blood vials. Nope, gave me a gem. I have to abandon this one and come back later. Which I can just take the elevator up, thankfully. No. So, since my videos for these things are usually about an hour long, we're at about the 30-minute mark. Let's go ahead and come back here. We'll just fight him again. Well, actually, Is there an item in here? Say, I think I grabbed it, but just in case. Okay, man. We did. Cool. You can just tap the X button and he'll quit with his dialogue. If you look around, all these spiders and things are actually eyeballs, and even the pebbles are petrified eyes. Oh, there's some blood vials. Huh. Boop. There we go. Durability still at... That's 22. Jeez. Whew. Well, there's some cheesy tactics you can use against them. Not sure if I'm going to use them or not. See, he has a gate come down, then you're essentially just locked in there with him. And he gets AoE spells. And you can run through the mirrors and teleport. There we go. Iron door key, which is important. Kin Cold Blood 10. Poison's effective. Take a step forward, eventually time for execution. See, that's a room that he runs into to fight you. So, yeah, just in case, we'll go ahead and... Well, actually, where's his health at? We might be able to hit him with the mace. We'll go ahead and try it. Just gotta find his ass. He's probably down below then. Damn it. That thing's shit for trying to chase him anyways. Well, hell, where'd he go? Damn it. I ran out of stamina right when I came down. Okay, so... Oh, shit! so crazy. Go ahead and do that, and then the highest arcane defense we can take is going to be... I think it's the student uniform? It might be the high choir stuff. Yep, it's the choir garments. I don't think anything gives higher arcane defense than the choir gear. Which is all you need against him, because arcane is literally all that he uses. Yep. Ah! Okay, you actually tried punching me there. Oh, yep, that's a bad one. Ah. And just slap him up against the wall. Oh. Oh. Ah. Ah, damn it. Oh, gee. There we go. Prey slaughtered. Princess cage. Alright then. Cage up. Body's down. No more weird arcane necromancy from him. And almost broken? Yeah, 6. So the iron door key will come into play. Not quite yet, but soon enough. Now, we can go all the way up and over. And one of the key points that's really important is the fact that in this dream, or in this case the nightmare, you wake up, you forget everything. So there's kind of a lot to it. A lot of speculation on what the game actually is, what it entails.
Welcome home. What is it you desire?
You can talk to her throughout it. I haven't been, but...
Good hunter, your presence somehow soothes. I sense the ancient echoes. They course your veins. Good hunter, I sense the ancient echoes. Farewell, good hunter. May you find your worth in the waking world.
And you can also... bows to the Legion. tilts her head. I said... It's awesome. Alright, now that that bit of fun's out of the way, there is a lot of lore, to the game. A lot of lore about babies and children, and elevation to the cosmos, to a higher plane, a higher state of being. A lot behind the runes, the different leagues. Which there's one more in this, I've yet to get. Need to go get it. It's a beast rune, which I know you get it from somewhere. I'll be able to. Changes your form, as does the milkweed. Yeah. Yeah. Look at us. Look at that. It's a lumen wood. We're a big, slimy, nasty alien thing. And there is a weapon in the DLC that goes with this. This is also a DLC rune. So yeah. That was indeed a thing. So... that area, we'll just go old hunter stuff. 'Cause I also like it. Also fits my character. And put a top hat on. No fear. Ludwig, we met in the DLC in the Nightmare, and we seen that he had the best intentions also. We seen Simon, which Simon was an unconventional church hunter. He was the one that had the bow blade. He was an odd sort, kind of like Archibald. He was an eccentric. Gurman here. It's a theory I have on him. Especially if you can get those points where he's over here. She is not, but get him over here, it really reveals, I think, a lot of the things that are going on. Okay, I did repair. Sorry, trying to think of any lore pieces that might be interesting.
Very well, Litton.
Could give us a little bit more endurance. Why the heck not? More strikes, I say.
Farewell, may you.
May I? No, my dear, may you.
Welcome. Very well, Litton.
What?
Very well, Litton.
I didn't do or say anything. Just trying to move it. There we go.
Farewell, good maid.
I don't know if the cold bloods I have at the moment would be enough to give me another level. They might, but we're putting them up anyways. Put up these bad boys. Yeah. Alright. Now I can continue through a little bit. Murgo's loft, which Murgo is important. I believe it's to be, I believe Murgo was the baby of Queen Yarnum. The queen that the whole town is named after. And Queen Yarnum makes 2 appearances in the core game. We seen her once when she was crying after we defeated Rom the Vacuous Spider. We've seen a secret. We've seen a glimpse of her. She makes an appearance again here, through this area. The area's not the largest. It's just a little involved. Queen Yarnum is one of the ones that gets and makes the sacrifices. Something that she loses something. You can say that. Trying to think here. We've seen the Hunters of Hunters, Eileen the Crow. She's most likely awakened from the dream, because she won't be at the Cathedral Ward stairs anymore. Pretty sure she's gone. We did defeat the person she was hunting, though. The one with the Canehurst armor. So, let's see. The League's the Confederates, that was Voltaire, and he's, I assume, kind of like he leaves and goes off on his own. Maybe he reawakens, you know? Maybe he exits the dream. He doesn't come into the nightmare like our crazy-ass hunter decides to do. You know, honestly, I can explain more of the lore. It's just, there is a lot to explain, and I know plenty. It's just, instead of kind of going one by one on the steps, I'll just say that if you guys have any questions, I'll throw out some of the theories I've seen and some of the things I believe are truth to it all, you know? And always try to do that way. It's worth waiting. Instead of trying to do it when you go down, you'll usually fall. But, yeah, honestly, I'd say go ahead and just ask any questions if you have them, you know, and I'll let you know the story behind it. As much as I'd like to ramble on and on, I'd much rather focus more on this and getting everything for you guys so nothing's missed. I've been trying to do good to not stop, because I'll stop sometimes, like mid-broadcast, and, you know. Oh, jeez, this got hurt. Ow. This is always a good place to come also for the blood gems that are here. Oh, they're so gross and horrifying. Oh, wait, what? Oh shit, I still have the lock shield equipped. Uh-oh. Yeah. Oh, these things hurt so bad. La la la. La. Oh no. Damn it. Oh, those eyeballs are so brutal. He's trying to frenzy me anyways. There. I have my gun in case she tries to gank me again. Damn it. F it. Just gonna use the healing. Nope. Don't care. I think there's one more, but I'll probably just run up to her and just slap her a whole lot. And we come in here, find more of the nasty experiments of the church. Little, looks like choir boys. They've definitely got the choir boy priest haircuts. And it is a nightmare, so only makes sense. Little amulets on them. Could be some significance there. Okay, don't go in the hole. First, come over here. There's a huge brain up there. Huge. That's what hits you with the frenzy. And this lever here, see, you can even see it down there. So, okay, so he's not quite up there. He's down there. But as you can see, he's massive, he's rotted, he's nasty, and if you try running through there, grabbing the items, insta-frenzy. So, we're gonna drop him. And this won't be the last we see of him. Drops him right down into a pit. I assume is like a backup that the church devised for him. I'm gonna go down here first before we go back in there. Grantland's wisdom, Grantland's wisdom. All kinds of items and wisdoms. Blood tinge. Lots of insight down here. And then this is to the first room you run with Mikolash. It's just a little side door over here. So, you just pop in and boop. Leads you outside. So if you did grab everything up top or get past those eyeball ladies, at least, you know, here's a way you can get back into that hole and come over here. And there's an arcane tool we can grab. And this is the area that leads to the Blood Rock. The piece you need to finally make a +9 weapon a +10. Let's go ahead and... Yep. So... You see all the rocks and stuff are just skulls and screaming faces and everything. This place is truly a nightmare. All the eyeballs. This is Mensis. This is a place where most of the research took place. And here we got the choir bell. Invigorates all cooperating parties, healing them. Only takes 15 arcane, 7 bullets. Special hunter tool of the choir, high-ranking members of the church, fashioned after a bell that projects an arcane sound across planes of existence. The sound of this smaller, silver version of the bell does not cross planes, but grants vigor and healing to all cooperators. It's a healing arcane item. Mind you, it takes 7 bullets, so if you were to go with that, you'd want to get as many quicksilver bullets as possible through runes, max them out. You'd want to boom and bam, probably after every usage, and essentially be just really a healer for the most part. In the back with someone that's got themselves spec'd out to be strong, or if you're PvP and you're with a friend, then you stay in the back, you heal them, and they go and chase down the invaders or the enemies, the bosses, whatever you're fighting. So, hold Bloodstone and have audience with madness. Yep. Blood Rock. Bed and weapon to fortify. A large solid chunk that forms in cold blood. After death, the substance of the blood hardens. That's not because bloodstone. This is no mere chunk. It is nearly a boulder. Few bloodstones of such size have ever been discovered, even considering the combined experience of all the hunters. I think you get one here and one in the DLC, and I think that's it. I think it's like one blood rock per like playthrough. So, incentive, I suppose. Bring this back down here to the little dudes when we come through. So, yeah. We can even go over here and use elevators to just get back up. So, yeah. If we exclude the DLC, if we throw it out, hell, we'll even throw it in. We put in the DLC, there's one boss in the DLC, the boss for this area, and then one final boss. If you make a certain choice. In that case, this may be the last core game boss that you have, depending on the choices you make. So, we're nearly there, guys. I think this was, what, part 19? So, I've given you maybe 18 and a half to 19 hours of gameplay, getting essentially the DLC and this all in it together. So, we're almost there. Almost gone through the whole game. So, hopefully you guys have been enjoying it so far, and we'll be able to finish it pretty soon together. Not much is left except this will be important. And a few other items that are fairly important. So I'll make sure I get that beast rune unless it's one of the ones that's in there. I know there's a weapon that's within all the dungeons. It's a beast claw, and it goes with the beast rune. So it's one of the things you can get. And there's also an armor set called Madman's Robes. It's got tentacles and a hood and stuff with it. It's another thing that's within the dungeons, certain kinds of dungeons. So those and an optional boss that is required for a trophy to platinum the game. She's, well, you gotta do a lot of work to get the dungeon even open to get to her, but she's one of the things worth looking into as well. So I don't know if I'll necessarily cover the things in the dungeons. I might if any of you guys would like me to, but until we come into our next video, clap for approval from Dr. Crankshaft. I hope you guys all enjoyed the video. Like and subscribe if you don't mind. And I hope to see all of you guys in that next video, and hope you're all doing very well. So stay happy, stay healthy, relax, and keep gaming. Until that next time, farewell.